friends, thanks for joining me. I'm all cozy this morning. I got this big like wrap thing on. I got it from Aldi of all places a few years ago. But anyways, we got a winter storm coming. We're gonna be getting like 6 or 8 inches of snow. I'm so excited. By the time this video goes up, it'll have already happened. But anyways, I don't know what's with me and wanting to just play around with different complexion routines. But today we're gonna do powder foundation. We're gonna do some Laura Geller because Laura Geller is now at Ulta. They were at Ulta a while back, like years ago, maybe a decade ago. And then they were just on QVC, Laura Geller's website, Amazon, and now they're back again. It's not the entire line, but it's a lot of significant products from her line. And I did do a little TikTok video talking about some of my favorites. And today I am going to use one of those favorites as part of a powder foundation routine. I felt like doing powder foundation today. So I've already got skincare on and I'm going to start things out with the Rimmel Multitasker. Really kind of falling for this product. The Primer Highlighter Glow Booster 003 Light. What we found out in the last video was that it can really hold its own if you want to wear it like a foundation. Oh, the catnip sloth has been brought to me. Thank you, Bisky. Thank you, Angel. So swipe it around and you'll see, after I blend this in, you'll see how pretty my skin looks. Like I literally just paired this with concealer and powder the other day and it looks so good. I think when I first used it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so glowy. But really, the more I work with it, the more I'm like, no, it's about the coverage. It's light coverage, but a good amount of coverage nonetheless. Like really cancels out some redness and just generally evens out my skin. So immediately radiant. I'm kind of feeling like if I had time to just do literally one thing, this makes such a difference. But next, because we're doing powder foundation, I want to go ahead with my concealer first and take care of that step. I pulled out my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer today in Light Peach, and we're just going to dot this around. Got all that dry air, cue the heat turning on. I can use some hydrating concealer, and let's use our double-ended brush, which yes, I do have this linked always down below. It's not just on the TikTok shop, it's other places too, as you guys have informed me. So I've got an alternate link if you don't want to shop in the TikTok shop or don't have TikTok. Love. Okay, so I just patched it around with the smaller side and then bop it in with the larger side. Yes, that looks really good with that Rimmel Multitasker. Getting that concealer where you need it. It's like there's just enough coverage in this for concealers to blend into it and it makes sense. It doesn't look like patch of concealer and then nothingness. It's doing something to make it all work. This is the catnip sloth. I don't think she's got any catnip left in her, but much loved toy. Check out the glowing radiant skin that is also covered. Another thing I'll do before I bring in the powder foundation is specifically set my under eye for brightness. Today I'll go with my e.l.f. This is my Halo Glow setting powder in light pink. Picks it up with the e.l.f. Pinky Puff and just dab it in. So much e.l.f. right now. We got the e.l.f. Pinky Puff, the e.l.f. concealer, the e.l.f. setting powder. I could have used a little corrector maybe down in there. I'm looking a little dark today. I fell asleep on the couch last night, woke up and it was almost midnight and I'm like, oh, I hate when I do this. Bub did the same thing. We're exhausted. But I'm just gonna like pack it in, press it in around, get it there on the under eye. I'll dust away any excess. And it probably feels like, man, there's a lot of steps before you actually go in with your powder foundation, but this is just the way I like to do it. I really like to get the under eye taken care of. I suppose I could have not set the under eye, but this just really establishes the utmost brightness there. And then I've got my Laura Geller. Today I'm using the double take. So there's Bake, Balance, and Brighten that has the marbled look to it, okay? Can you see that? No. Bake, Balance, and Brighten, that shade is light. And that's gonna give you like a light to medium coverage level. And then double take is like your medium to full. And I have this in the shade medium and it's really, really good. You can use any kind of powder brush you like. Laura Geller actually sells a nice retractable brush here. Angled and super soft, and you can just dip into your powder foundation and give it a little dab and a buff. And double take can make you look like absolute doll skin, like really airbrushed, really amazing coverage. A lot of people don't talk about it, but I think it's kind of like Laura Geller's hidden gem product. Like, look at the pretty coverage we're building up here. I haven't gotten too close to the under eye, but I can get right up there. Such pretty coverage and not looking heavy and flat either. And part of that's because this product is able to walk that line between coverage and looking natural, but also we have something that's kind of glowy underneath too. So I'm just like stamping over the product and then dabbing around and then give it a little buff. Somewhere between a dab and a buff is where we're at with this. And I like the size of this brush. It takes up a lot of surface area, so you get done really quick. So pretty, so even, really airbrush looking. We're talking like, what's the difference, Em? How do you tell when something is achieving full coverage? Well, I look to my little freckles on my skin and I can see them just barely trying to peek through on this product. And if you touch this, you'll notice like there's just an added softness there. Who's eating the garland? Yeah, I know. It's not Valentine's Day anymore. I got plans, don't worry. But you can just tell it's got this way of being richer and kind of adhering. And you can just tap it in, build it up as much as you want. The more you wear it, the more you'll realize where your happy place with this product is. But I love that, loving it. I'm gonna finish off the face and I'll show you how the finished look turns out. So here's my finished face. I couldn't be more pleased with the way, excuse me, the complexion is looking. This is a powder foundation look. I'll tell you what else I put on my face. I probably should have done this on camera, but I do have a whole video about this particular product, the best of the best baked full face basics. I decided to just dip in here and I used the Tahitian Glow as my bronzer. I used the pink buttercream blush, so I got both of those on. The bronzer is pretty soft, but it's still doing something for me. It's really nice. And this is a little bit brighter swirl than my freestanding pink buttercream is. My single just doesn't have quite as much bright pink in it, so I really like that. And I used both of these highlights. I first put on the Baked French Vanilla and then just a little dab of the more shimmery one. Baked French Vanilla is just brightening and the other is giving me that little bit of glow. But like, you get up close to my skin, nothing looks cakey, nothing on my complexion looks unnatural. I love that. So then I did my brows and I think I just used my Milani pencil and my L'Oreal Infallible Gel. This is what's on my eyes, the Born This Way Sunset Strip palette. I love this palette and I just stuck to the mattes pretty much. I kind of started here in my crease, blended out with that, worked these two into my outer corner and came back to this for the inner lid. And that pretty much sums up that look. I used my NYX Epic Smoke Liner in Nude Haze. That's what's on my lower lash line. This is kind of a thick pencil, sort of teardrop shaped. So it gives me kind of the effect of a jumbo shadow stick and it does set for long wear, but it's matte. So I just thought it fit in with the whole matte look. I even smudged some right down in my lash line. I used my Makeup Forever Boundless Beige on my lower inner rim and the Benefit Bad Gal Bounce Mascara on my lashes on the upper and Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water on the lower. And for my lips, I pulled out this Essence Stay 8 Hour Lip Liner. The shade is called Just Perfect. I hope they're still making this kind. This is a really good lip liner. Goes on smooth, but lasts a really long time. And then this is my L'Oreal Gloss. The shade is called Rosy Utopia. By the way, I traveled with this palette over the weekend, and do you ever feel like even if you go somewhere for just a couple days, like you want an option, you want to have something to choose from? So I took this, I used this on one day, and then next day I used the Pretty Grunge palette from Huda, which actually is a really good palette. I love the matte tones that are in here. I really like this shimmer as well called Stand Up. I love working into those and also these. There are a few really like shiny shades, but just for everyday use, it's a really well-balanced palette. And by the way, I have not been so gaga over the Icy Nude palette, speaking of Huda. That was the one that came out like ahead of the holidays. It's got so much glitz going on. Anytime I pick it up, I feel like I end up doing the same kind of look with the non-glitzy shades, and I can like that look, but yet I feel like I'm not really getting good out of the palette. Let me know what you're doing with Icy Nude, or should I just be putting glitter on every day? But anyway, guys, today's video is just a little inspiration for powder foundation, just giving you an idea of how I go about it. I could have subbed in so many different ones that I like. I love Super Stay Hybrid Powder Foundation. That's what you see me use, just kind of dabbing it in at the end of a complexion routine. Well, that could have come in just like this did, if you want a drugstore alternative. L'Oreal makes a good powder powder foundation too. The thing I really like about the Double Take is it covers a lot, and somehow I feel like it never looks too matte and too flat on my skin. And Laura Geller's got a great brush here, by the way, to use with it, that angled brush. The size is really good for blending. Hello. But that's all I got for today, friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.